Hello. Good evening. Good morning. Rahul here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good evening.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good evening, Rahul.
Good morning.
Sorry. Actually, there is some issue actually in my laptop, so I will be the first person to log in, but today some issue has gone. 1 second, sir. Sorry. Yeah. Yesterday we have seen about, okay, so I'm just deleting these two because these are not required. Okay, this is the delete option. I'm selecting, this is somebody has been created, okay, for the internal purpose. Okay, so I'm just clicking on delete. Okay, entries before to perform the function. So I already performed the function. 1 second. So there is no authorization for me. Okay, so let me first of all get an authorization for this and to delete everything. Okay, so these are about the currencies which are except this 34 and 66, except 34 and 66. Okay, so these all are going to be called as SAP standard defined currencies in our SAP S/4HANA. If you want to create a new currency, we can go to the new entry. There is the option is there where we can go for the new entry and we can create the new currency type. Okay, that is based on the requirement. What is there any specific requirement which is not meeting the currency types which has already been defined by the SAP? If it is apart from that, you can go and create. But normally, we can adjust with all these currency types. Normally, whichever the project which we are working, so we can adjust. In case if you want a new currency, then go and create. And here, if you still observe here, this is very important. Settings for the default. Okay, so defined level. Okay, so what is the defined level here? There are two defined levels are there. One is the global. Second one is going to be called as the company code specific. If you scroll down, if you click on this arrow mark, there are two defined are there. One is the company code specific. Second one is going to be called as a global. Very important. Two specific settings are there. See. So, what do you mean by company code level? What do you mean by global? Global is nothing but the currency type. For example, if you see the currency type, of any one of these, okay, see, for example, if I take a 30 or 20, whatever may be, okay, or I will take about the 20. Okay, now if you see the currency type 20, where they have by default, it is a default by the SAP. It is not designed by the customer. It has already been default by the SAP. See, some of the currencies are already been grayed out where we cannot change it to the company code specific by, because these are the universal currency types. These are the universal currency types which is applicable to all the company codes. All the global means if you have 100 company codes, all the 100 company codes can use these currency types which have been defined as a global over here. Very important. It is not specifically for one company code. If any currency which has been default setted with the currency type as the company code specific, then these particular currency types are at the company code specific. Very important. It is not at the global level. Very important. It is not at the global level. Global means it is applicable for all the company codes. Company code specific means it is only specifically designed for the company codes only. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you or not? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll take one example now. Okay, I'll take one example of the company code specific. Now, if I select any currency as a company code specific, now here we have the option called as currency conversion setting for the company code. Very important. Currency conversion setting for the company code. Only you can see the currencies which are defined as a company code level, not as a global. Very important. Only the currencies which has been setting default level as a company code level, only those currencies you can see in the company code specific. The currencies which has been set as a global level here, okay, whichever the currency, okay, that is document currency, company code currency, okay, we are seeing these two currencies have been set as a global level remaining. So those currency you can see here in this particular setting, global currency conversion setting over here. So first we'll go with the company code specific. Now, if I click on the company code specific, okay, currency conversion of the setting for the company code. This is very, very important actually. This is very, 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 very important. Now, you can see the company code here. You can see the company code here. Why? Because those currencies have been set as a company code level. You can see the company code specific. The currencies which has been set as a globally, if I double click on global, okay, we cannot see the company code. So here you cannot see the company code. Why? Because globally doesn't means at the company code level. You can see here. This is the currency type. This is the currency type, currency. Okay, you can see the source currency, exchange rate, everything, real-time conversion, everything they have been given here. Here you cannot see the company code specific. You cannot see the company code specific. See here, very, very important. But those currencies which have been set at the company code level, then you can see the company code specific over here. This is very, 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 very important. Okay. Now first let me go to the global. Okay. Now, these are the currency types which have been set as a globally. Okay, you can see here. If I go to the new entry, even if I'm selecting at the search cell, okay, here only those currencies which have been set globally, only those 4 currencies I can see here. See here, only those 4 currencies I can see here. 10, 11, 12, and 20. Only these 4 currency types have been set as a globally. Very, very important. Only those 4 currencies I can see over here. Now,
why 20 is coming in there?
Yeah.
20 is a global, na? 20 is a this is a controlling area currency actually, which is before the conversion. I had to do this setting actually, or not after the conversion.
Okay.
20 is no longer.
Yeah.
20 is no longer in
What's that?
S4HANA.
Yesterday you
20 is
mentioned.
no longer available, right?
Exactly.
So why is the 20?
20 is still we are not using actually. That is what I told in coming versions. Actually, they are removing the 20 actually. So as of recommendation, SAP clear indication is that okay, in future you may go up to multiple even at the present you have only one company code. So that is the reason you are using the 20 as the company controlling area currency. So in future, keeping in the mind about if you are assigning more than one company code to one controlling area, so it is recommended from the SAP that you have to change it to the 30. So before you do the conversion, it is best and it is necessary that remove the 20 currency type and make it as a 30. It's a recommendation. It is available, but it is a recommendation from the SAP that go with the 30 instead of going with the 20.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a recommendation. Okay. Now, yeah, I see the currency 10. What is the 10 here? 10 is nothing but the company code currency. Okay. So company code currency is the currency which has been assigned in the company code. It is not a compulsory that all the transactions are getting posted at the company code level currency type. We will give the company code. But we can post in foreign currency also. Apart from the local currency, the type of 10, we may post the foreign currency also. Okay. So when you are posting any company code level currency, what will be the source currency? The source currency always very, very important. This is the certification question. What is the source currency type for the currency type 10? In the universal general entry table, whenever any associate levels, when you are appearing for the associate level, this is the question. The source currency type for the currency type 10, local currency always should be the 0. So you can see here, it has been defaulted, it has been grayed out. You cannot change here. You cannot change this. Even if you are trying to change, the system will not allow you to do the changes. The default currency type, source currency type, for the currency type 10, it will be 00. 0 is going to be called as a document currency. Yesterday, we have seen this example. What is the document currency? Document currency is the currency where your interim currency type has been posted for the transaction. As I told you yesterday also. Okay, now when I'm posting the currency type 10, okay, maybe it is a USD or Euro, whichever the currency you are assigning in the company code. Okay, that particular currency will become your 10. So when I'm posting this transaction in my SAP, so always the source currency I'm taking as a 00. 00 will be your document currency. Either you're posting in USD or Euro or INR, whatever may be. So the source currency will be the 00. Very, very important. And when I'm making it as a 00, definitely I need to define the exchange rate type. If it is a transaction, okay, I am posting to a company code called as US10. I am posting a company code called as a US10. What is my local currency? USD. Okay, USD. This is the transaction actually. This is what exactly the transaction you are posting in SAP. This is exactly the transaction you are posting in SAP for a company code US10. If this transaction is getting posted in the same currency of USD, the currency type 10, that is what exactly I'm telling here. Okay, that is 100 USD dollars is getting debited and 100 USD dollars is getting credited. Then this 100 USD dollars will become your source currency. Source currency will be your dollar only. Source currency will be a dollar. Then here there is no need to maintain any, there is no need to go for the exchange rates and the translation dates and everything. Why? Because you're posting the transaction and the document currency is equal to your company code currency, because I've taken the source currency as a 00. So the document currency is equal to your company code currency. No issue. Next one. The same travel expenses. Okay, the same travel expenses is getting debited and which is getting credited to my cash or bank account. Yeah. Now, in this case, company code is same, US10. Company code is 10, US10. Okay, I'm posting as 10,000 INR. Company code is same, sir. Okay, I'm posting to INR. Now, somebody can tell me what is the major difference in the document currency and the transaction currency and the company code currency in between these two?
So the company currency is different, right? This one.
The company code is USD. Company code is USD.
Exactly.
And transaction currency is INR.
Very good. Transaction currency and what is the document currency here?
Same thing here. Document currency is going to be INR as well.
Exactly. Now, here if we observe in both the C sections, so here we no need to define the exchange rates. I'm right? No need to define for the first transaction.
Right.
Okay. Second transaction, I need to define the exchange rates. I'm right or wrong? What is the exchange rates? USD to INR. What is the okay? And INR to USD. Okay, now I need to define the exchange rates because here the company code currency and the document currency both are different. So here, in this case, the standard translation rate, whether you want to take here, we are going to be assigning either you want to go with the bank selling average or bank buying, which is based on the planning, or either I can also define my bank selling, bank buying with other exchange rate types, and I can also provide here. So what type of exchange rate you want to go? Even if I want to go with M, I will give it as a bank translation rate average. Average is nothing but it is the difference between the bank buying and bank selling. Bank buying is nothing but the rate which you have defined in the exchange rate spreadsheet. What is the buying rate today? So based on the date of the conversion, it will go and do the conversion. So here you have an option to select the exchange rate type. Hey, Mahesh, I don't want to go with these three. Can I create a new exchange rate type in my SAP so that has been shown in the drop-down list so that I can select that one? Yes, you 100%. But these are the standard. Okay, if you want to have a new exchange rate type apart from these three, you can go to the exchange rate configuration. You can create a new exchange rate type, and that exchange rate type you can be default over here also.
What are the gap and IFS rules here if I want to go for a own exchange type? Say, for example, a lot of companies we go for 001 DF.
IFRS always tells you go with the exchange rate with the average only, sir.
How about US GAAP?
US GAAP always tells about the selling.
I've seen many cases, Mahesh, in the past, they used their standard defined exchange types. Like, of course, M is very, very common across the world.
Exactly.
Whereas for balance sheeting purpose, for other translations, they use different like a D, F, Z, some kind of different kind of exchange types. But I'm not sure what are the ISF, IFRS, and IAS and US GAAP rules while defining these translation ratios.
See, sir, most of these, see, whenever you go for the balance sheet currency valuation at the month end closings or something like, always what I will do, I will use it as a average only. Definitely, because even if you go for the Schedule 8, according to the IFRS configuration rule, the balance sheet configuration rule of IFRS, the currency translations always should be done at the average rate, so that there will be a defined and the precise accounting entry will be triggered at the closing of your balance sheet accounts. So if I go for the Schedule 8 or Schedule 9 in the IFRS, so it's not a compulsory that I will go with the average, but it depends. But IFRS speaks about go with the average, sir.
Got it. Average is more we apply for P&L items, whereas balance sheet we have to differ.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
For P&L account items, you're absolutely right, sir. I'll go with average. And there is about the balance sheet items like assets and liabilities, that your requirement.
Yeah. That is where I see some kind of guidelines for a different, basically, Mahesh, I'm a chartered accountant back in India 25, 30 years ago. I'm in US here.
Now, major, if you see here, when I have done the implementation for one of the Italian project, actually, there is a tires manufacturing company in Italy. Okay, so I've been at there. So they always follow the IFRS regulations only. So it has become one of the difficult for us to find out, because now if you see the RAR also, RAR, revenue accounting recognition also, it has completely maintained as the IFRS regulations only. So yes, definitely you can say that yes, any company will go with most of the companies now in the Middle East companies or some of the European companies, they are following the IFRS regulations only. So definitely we had to be by heart about the regulations, and then we have to for the implementations.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Mahesh. And about what I heard is US GAAP rules is going to remote and IFRS is going to be introduced even for US. Is that right?
Now incoming, yes, you're absolutely right. But the negotiation, because see the BRIC committee and the US committee, actually they had to come to an understanding for this. That internal discussions are going on. Maybe it will take up to 1 or 2 years, but not as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Now, yes, I am taking as a bank average. That is very, very good. You are taking as a bank average, but what is the translation date type? Very, very important. When the translation date should be taken. When the translation date is nothing but today I can take it as a translation date, tomorrow I can take it as a translation date, yesterday is a translation. What is the translation date you wanted when you are doing the currency conversion between the local currency to the foreign currency or foreign currency to the local? There should be some date should be specified. If the date is not specified, how the system knows it? Which date, because today the dollar value is about 71, 72 rupees or something like is equal to $1. Tomorrow it may come down to 71. Tomorrow it may go up to 73. Okay, there is a currency fluctuations are going to happen. So what is the date you want to take as a base? Why? Because I'm taking the source currency as a 00, which is called as a document currency. Now what date you want to take? There are 3 dates will be given by you. Okay, so you need to specify here. One is the document date. Second one is the posting date. And the third one is going to be called as the translation date. Document date is the date. Document date is the date when the document you have created. For example, if I go into the SAP now, if I'm posting a transaction, this is the transaction, this is the document date. The document date and the posting date can be the same, sir. 12/01/2019. Here, if you see here, the document date and the posting date is the same. That is very much appreciated. But in general principle, the posting date cannot be before the document date. The posting date cannot be before the document date. So when I am doing the foreign currency transaction, if I'm using the US 10 and I'm using the currency, now company code is US 10, I'm using the currency INR, not in USD, I'm using the European dollars. I'm using the European dollars. So here, 3 dates you're going to be document date, posting date, another one is going to be called as a yourself. Manually, you have to enter the translation. This is the translation date. Very, very important configuration. If you leave this field as an empty, okay, then the system will take any of the proportionate to this. Okay, nothing but either here, whatever the date you are going to be giving, that date will be taken here. For example, I have given the translation date, Mahesh. Okay, let us assume that I have not given the document date, I have not given the posting date, I have given the translation date. Then which translation date you want to take? Because from January 1st to till 10th of January, you have maintained all the exchange rates in the SAP. So which translation date you want to take? If you leave this field empty, automatically, very, very important. So these all are very, very important. Okay. If you leave this translation date field as an empty, then automatically system will take what is the latest, what is the current and the latest translation date you have entered in the exchange rate spreadsheet. Maybe it will be the 10th or 9th or 8th or 7th or 6th or 5th, which is the latest one. It will pick up and it will get posted between the USD to INR. If you leave this field empty. No, Mahesh, I don't want to leave this field empty. I just want to enter which translation date. I want to take the translation date on 8th one, not on 9th or not on 10th. Okay, so 2019. So this will become your translation date. So system will go and check the translation between the USD to INR in the exchange rate spreadsheet, what rate you have maintained on 8/01/2019.
Mahesh, you have only got 3 options there, and you can select only one out of that 3 options. Right?
Only one, sir. Only one.
Yeah. So when we select one of them, and if we leave it empty, it will automatically pick only that one, right?
If you leave this field empty, automatically it will pick up the, okay, here, that is what I'm telling. Here, when you are putting it as a manually as a posting date, you can overcome this by maintaining the translation date over here, sir, please.
No. If you go to the other screen, can you just go to the other
okay,
screen?
You're talking about the first one. Okay, here I'm talking about the translation date. Okay, translation date type by the one.
Yeah. For example, in the communicode currency, against the document currency type 10, if we set document date as a transaction date currency, a translation date currency, then it can only take that one. It will not take a posting date currency.
It will not take. Exactly. It will not take. It will not take. Exactly. When I post and see the document, it will not. It will show the document posting at the translation date at the date of 10/12/2018 or something like 12/10/2018.
So if you have different requirements to post, for example, most of the balance sheet items are translated at the balance date. Okay, it will not be transaction date, especially on the asset for the valuation purposes. We will take only the balance sheet date, or that is the translation date we normally take.
Exactly.
So at that time,
yes, sir.
At that time, what shall we do to pick up that date?
Yeah, that time, there is a separate, okay, I think we have done the foreign currency valuations in the previous also. So there is a, 1 second, sir. There is a valuation key date will be there when you are doing the foreign currency valuation. Now in SAP S/4HANA, actually, this is the new transaction code. That is what, okay, so there is a new transaction code has been designed in SAP S/4HANA, which is called as FAGL_FCV. This is the new transaction code in SAP S/4HANA. So here, you are specifying the date. You are specifying what is the valuation key date, from which date of what is the date I had to take as a valuation key date. So that date you are going to be putting over here. So based on this date, the valuations of the currencies will be taken care at the month end closing activity.
Okay. Yeah.
So Mahesh, where we put this conversion, right? Document posting. So it's applied to all the documents, or how it's going to be?
It is for all the documents which are posting to the currency type 10.
Okay. So can we do like different kind if we have posting some different document type, right?
Yeah, that's what you have a new entry option. You can go and change it.
Okay. And suppose if you select the document date here, that transaction date will be document date. But
exactly. See, when you're selecting the document date, for example, if I'm selecting the document dates are here. Okay, tell me, sir.
I go back to FBF01 or posting screen. and I am entering the date here in the transaction date. So it's going to be matter or doesn't matter if I enter date here?
It doesn't matter, sir. It will go and take the valuation based on the 10/12/2000,
Okay.
10/12/10/2019.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Mahesh, quick question. Here, suppose if I enter translation date, as you mentioned, 8/1, January 8th. How about if when my exchange rate table is getting updated on a daily basis?
Exactly.
From where did I get this 8/1/2019 translation rates? Because
Already
the
I have
table got.
maintained the exchange. Yeah, that's what I told. Every month, every day, you will get an exchange rate spreadsheet from the bank. So okay, that through the batch jobs, automatically the exchange rates are maintained in our exchange rates configuration, the table actually. So you are maintaining from 0/1 to.
So the data is not overwritten on a daily basis.
No. It is specifically
okay.
select the translation date on 01/08/2019.
Got it. So, I mean, as long as the data is not overwritten, it is creating another record in the table.
No. If you're not maintain see, for example, if you're not maintain, I'm posting from USD to INR. Okay, I don't know what is the rate today. Okay, I don't know what is the rate, but I already exchange rate spreadsheet has already been updated as on today date. That is 11/12/2000. That is 11/01/2018 already. So okay, my end user has run the batch job and he has updated the table as on date. If okay, I don't know what is the rate today, so I'll leave this field empty. I don't know whether the dollar is equal to 72 rupees or dollar is equal to 78 rupees. I don't know what is the exchange rate as per today. So what I will do as an end user, I will enter this currency. I will leave this field empty, and I will also leave this field empty. I will leave this two field empty automatically. So once the document has got posted, automatically system what it will do, it will go to the exchange rate spreadsheet and it will look at what is the rate as on today, and it will get posted between the USD to INR, and it will give the translation date as today's date. Not tomorrow, not yesterday's, not day before. Today, whatever the rate it has maintained, automatically you will get that exchange rate over here automatically.
Mahesh, can you go back to your transaction screen, the other screen? So what level we are putting here? So we are putting on a company code level, right? So what level we have?
No, it's not company code, sir. It is a global.
It's global.
Yeah,
so
it's a global.
Okay, so the 11, right? The currency is 11, right now? So,
yeah.
Okay. And we have the 10 also, right? 10 is not a global, right?
10 is a global, sir. 10 is always will be a global. 10 is a universal currency type, company code currency. Even if you create a new currency also, new company code in your SAP, and if you assign any currency type to the company code, the 10 will be the global. You cannot change the 10.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah. And then we have another setup for currency conversion with the company code label, right? This is another setup.
Yes, exactly. Last class I showed that. Okay, last class I showed something exchange. That is a different. Actually, this is a different.
Okay.
I'll check explain you. Okay. Now, this is what exactly the real-time conversion comes into the picture. What do you mean by real-time conversion? This is very, very important. This has been brought down in SAP S/4HANA. This has been specifically designed in SAP S/4HANA. Normally, we will do lot many foreign currency postings in SAP, sir. Lot many. Okay. Lot many foreign currency postings. Even if you take a one company code or multiple company codes which have been assigned to a company, we'll do some foreign currency posting between the local currency to the foreign currency. SAP is recommended actually. SAP is recommended to default this real-time conversion checkbox. What happened? This default currency conversion checkbox as selected here. We will do the foreign currency valuation in the month-end closing activity. Or some realized accounts will be there, unrealized accounts will be there. Okay, so where you're posting the transaction. So what happens if I'm not selecting this checkbox? If you're not selecting this checkbox, what happens means you cannot have the real-time conversion setting in your SAP standard. So you had to do a manual. Okay, intermediate inception accounting entry. Very, very important. You have to process a manual intermediate, before you do the foreign currency valuation in the month end, intermediate accounting entry has to be get posted. A inception intermediate accounting entry has to be get posted, which is getting updated to your ECDOCA table. Then you have to do the foreign currency valuation. Means there is some intermediate steps are some intermediate steps are going to be coming to the picture for the calculating of the exchange rates. Then you have to do the foreign currency valuation. If you are selecting this checkbox, we are avoiding that intermediate steps. We are avoiding that intermediate step. There is a precise foreign currency valuations are going to be happened in the month-end closing activity. Directly, you can go to the transaction for the month-end closing activity for the foreign currency, and you can do the foreign currency valuation directly without any intermediate step which is going to be involved in this current process over in our SAP S4 HANA. Very, 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 very important. So if I go to the definition of SAP, this is very clearly written by the SAP. If I go to the definition of SAP, it's a very clearly written. Here you can see the documentation. Very, very important here. For your own currency type, for your company code currency, when you call it as a own currency type, it is called as a company code currency. Okay, currency type, you can decide whether the currency conversion to be made in the real time or not. When I should make it as a real time? If I'm not sure about whether there is an intermediate accounting entry should be passed or not, then in that case, definitely I'll go with the real time. In this means that in every journal entry posting, the value for each currency type is calculated and stored in the journal entry table. Your journal entry table here is a ECDOCA table. So if I go here, this is the journal entry table. I can see there is a real-time conversion currency is going to be happen between the between your local currency or the transaction between the company local currency to your foreign currency. Automatically, the exchange rate spreadsheets are going to be maintained, and you can see the real-time currency conversions are going to be happened for the realized and unrealized account, and that values are getting updated in the universal journal entry table. This is the universal journal entry table which I can see, which is called as the ECDOCA table. So now in our SAP, very, very important. Now in our SAP, Okay. Now in our SAP, the stored in the universal journal entry, SAP recommend. This is what I'm telling. I'm specifically calling. This is what is the SAP recommendation? SAP recommendation is always to have the checkbox should be selected. Real-time currency conversions checkbox has to be get selected. So SAP recommend to use this option in order to have the precise currency conversion value. What do you mean by precise? Automatically it has been getting calculated. No need to pass any intermediate accounting entry before you do the foreign currency valuation. If I put the intermediate accounting entry, so what is the use of SAP S4 HANA? What is the use of this? You are simplifying the SAP S4 HANA. So to simplify the process, SAP what it is telling, hey, no need to do any kind of intermediate posting like what you've done in SAP ECC before you go for the foreign currency valuation. I'm telling that. So if you don't select the checkbox, the value for this currency type will be 0. Okay, the currency type will be the 0 within the universal journal entry, and you will have to do a currency valuation at the period closing activity. This is what with an intermediate step to receive an inception posting before you can perform the actual foreign currency valuation for your own currency type. First of all, I need to post one inception posting, that is the intermediate accounting inception posting, the accounting entry, the difference of the currency types. What is the difference between the USD to INR? Okay, when I've done the calculation, now the USD rate is gain is there, USD rate loss is there. So that intermediate step you have to process before I do the posting. Then I have to go for the foreign currency valuation. If you're not selecting that checkbox, so there is the option is there in our SAP. So if I go to the foreign currency, this is the foreign currency valuation. So if you're not selected the checkbox, if you're not selected that particular checkbox, there is option called as update run. See, this is the update run. This update run is an intermediate step you have to run. Very, very important. Before you simulate, before you start doing the test run, first you have to do the update run. Update that values, update those difference values, update those difference exchange rate gain or exchange rate loss values in the table. So you have to run this particular update run before you first do the foreign. Once the update run has been successfully completed, then what I will do, I will run a test run. I will run one test run and I will see whether the values have been updated or not. Once the values are getting updated, then what I will do, I'll run the I will run the ledger specific run, simulation run, and I will put the foreign currency valuation. This is when you're not selected that real-time conversion. If you are selected the real-time conversion checkbox, automatically whatever the precise postings you are making, that has been avoided. No intermediate steps, means no update run should be selected. Automatically, directly you can go to the test run and you can see the different postings and everything, and then you have to run the simulation posting and post and do the foreign currency valuation in the month-end closing activity. Do the foreign currency posting in the month-end closing activity. This is very, 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 very important. So it is in SAP recommendation. It is an SAP recommendation to always have this currency conversion should be happened in the real time without any intermediate accounting entry to be passed over for the exchange rate gain or exchange rate loss.
Mesh, can we see the exchange rate for the document in any of our document we posted?
Sir?
Can we see the exchange rate if we post any document and we want to see what's the exchange rate? Is there any field?
1 second. 1 second. This is the new system, I think. 1 second. 1 second, sir. What happened to the system? Let me see whether there are any documents out there. I think nobody has posted, sir. Let me post and show one document, okay? As I've seen, but nobody has done this because it's in the new server. Actually, they have refreshed and give it to me. I think nobody has posted any foreign currency valuation as of now. Okay. No, there is nothing here. I'll post and I'll show it, sir. Now,
Yes,
whether we don't.
I just want to see, is there any way we can see, right? Just want to make sure.
What's that?
We just want to see if somebody posted, that's fine. I just want to see, is there any way we can.
No, definitely I'll show one because anyhow we have to do many postings in SAP. So
yeah.
that time also, okay, but this is a very new system. Okay, only nobody has got posted. So what happens here when I'm not selecting the checkbox? This is very, very important actually. So what happens here? Okay. Now, if you don't select the checkbox, the value for this currency type will be 0 in your SAP because the currency factors will not be happen. within the universal entry, and you will have to do a valuation at the period end closings. Period end closing is nothing but your month end closings actually. Okay, period end closing using an intermediate step. What is that intermediate step you have to do? There is an option called as update. There is an option called as update here. See, there is an option called as update. You have to run this update option when you are not selecting that particular real-time posting. So when you select this update, so whatever the differences are there, automatically this is the intermediate step. The differences will be get posted. Then you have to go and do the test run for the foreign currency valuation. So it's very clearly mentioning here. It's very clearly mentioning that to receive an inception posting before you can perform the actual foreign currency valuation for your own currency type. The inception posting will generate a new general entry. This is what exactly. So whatever the price differences which are going to be the intermediate step, it will generate a new debit account and the credit account. Automatically, the new general entry will contain the value for your own currency types with the period average rate. This is the average rate. Not buying, not selling. After this, you can perform the actual currency valuation run. So why should I do this? Why should I do always the update run in the foreign currency valuation? Why can't the SAP can do this? If you are expecting the SAP can do this valuation, the real-time valuation between your own currency type to the foreign currency, then SAP recommendation is here to have to select the checkbox. Why can't you select the checkbox and do the process manually? So this real-time conversion is the default in SAP. So even if I go to the currency conversion, even if I go to the currency conversion at the company code level also, you can see this step is much more available. You can see here, it has been grayed out. See, it has been grayed out some of the user defined. For Z1, Z2, some of the user-defined currency types you have created, Z1 and Z2 currency type. For them, it will be optional for you. It will be optional for you. But for the remaining standard one, whatever the currency transactions you are taking, you see here, 30, okay, 30, 32, 30. For the remaining, whatever the group currency or the foreign currency or something like called as any other currency you are taking, apart from the local. So for all the currency types, the real-time conversion settings will be maintained over here. Automatically, this checkbox will be selected. Not for the user. These are the Z1 and Z2 are the user-defined here. You can see here, user-defined. So euro is the conversion rate. Okay, euro is the currency type you are taking as a default here. Okay, the source currency will be a 10 or 00. 10 is the local currency and 00 is the company code currency here. Because always your own currency type will be the 10s, definitely the universal, it is the universal. Your own currency type always will be a 10 only. From the 10, you are doing all the foreign currency transactions. Your base currency will be a 10 only. So even if you're posting to the currency type 10, or even if you're not posting to the currency type 10, okay, if you're posting to the currency type 10, then there will be no currency conversion. If you're posting other than the 10 currency type, if you're posting to a foreign currency like USD or Euro or whatever may be, your local currency is the INR, then you need to define the translation date. So that is what exactly the source currency always at the company code level, I will take as my 10 or 00. 00 is nothing but your document currency. So I'll take my 10 or 00 as my source currency. And what is the currency type you are going to be using for the foreign currency here? This is very, very important. That should be happened in the real time. So this particular setting is very, 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 very important for you. And one more thing, Rahul, you are telling that you can take the currency type. Can I take only one currency type? Can I not take more than one? Yes, you can take, sir. No need to worry. If you see your company code 0000, they have taken 2 times. 0010, they have taken two currencies here. Even if you are doing the currency conversion for 10 currency types, or for 8 currency types, you can maintain your company code 8 times, and you can give the different currency types, and your local currency will be a 10, 10, 10, 10. Then there will be a real-time currency conversion will be happened between the 10 and the 30, between the 10 and the 32. Like this, you can have a different currency conversion. This everything will be happened in the real time. No need to pass any intermediate step before you do the foreign currency valuation. That is what exactly the importance of this real-time conversion settings has been maintained over here. Is it clear to all of you? Everybody.
Yes.
Yep. So have you given your email IDs in the loop that have you sent a mail to the server support team, sir, all of you to get an access?
Yeah, we sent it actually, Mahesh.
Yes.
Did you
Mahesh,
got any reply, sir? Did you got any reply?
Yeah, they sent an email saying that like they will get like within 24 to 48 hours.
Very good. So here,
Mahesh, a question.
yes,
on
sir.
the- When you ran that FAGL FCV,
Yes, sir.
when if you go to that that T code, you can see that various open items as well as GL account items.
Yes, sir.
Transactions, right? So,
Yeah.
what are the rates it will take for those processes? For example, if
That
it's
is what I told, sir. The valuation, whatever the valuation key date you have taken, date based on the date. Okay, it will do the valuation, sir. That is the date.
Okay, that date is fine. But if you go to GL account balances, go to the tab GL account balances. The same. The third or fourth tab, GL account balances.
Okay, you are okay. Here you're talking about the GL account balances. Okay, yes, sir.
So if you want to do the GL account balance translation, so we'll have to check this box and we run it, or how is the process?
So the process will be here.
Yeah.
That is what exactly. I already maintained the company code level. I'll maintain the valuation areas here. Okay. The areas in the areas, whatever the valid, whatever the exchange rate type maintained, that is good. That is the rate which is going to be defined in the exchange rate spreadsheet that will go here. So that we'll discuss, sir. One thing. Okay. So that I'll discuss. That I'll come into the point. Okay. So first, let me make you to understand this concept. Then I'll go with that, sir. I'll make sure that that is going to be covered in our syllabus. No worries, sir. No worries. Okay. First, I'm making you to understand this particular scenario. Why? Because if I explain that, it will be lengthy topic, so that I have to explain some configuration steps in the backend. So it will be some mess like for you. So don't worry, sir. That will be definitely a part of syllabus. I'm going to explain that all those things, foreign currency valuation, everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, when you get an access to the SAP, sir, when you get an access to the SAP. Okay, they will give some guidelines. So you go to the remote desktop like this, go to the remote desktop. Once you gone to the remote desktop, they will give the computer ID over here. Okay, you will get a mail for that. So, okay, type that computer mail ID here in the computer checkbox here like this. Okay, the IP path will be given from the support team. Just copy and paste here. Copy and paste here, remote desktop connectivity path. After giving this, press enter. Press connect or enter. Once you click on enter, you will get the username and the password. The username and the password will be shared. They will be sharing you the username and the password. Just give the username and give the password from them. Okay, just enter the username and the password here like this. Once you are given the username and password, just press enter. Make sure that you are giving the credentials right as per, okay? Then click on yes, yes. Don't click on no. It is asking for the connectivity to your remote desktop, yes. So you will get the remote desktop connectivity like this. Okay, you will get a remote desktop connectivity. 1 second, so just let me close everything. Okay, now you will get the remote desktop connectivity. Okay, so like this, you will get a remote desktop connectivity. You can see this icon. From here, double click on SAP logon. Double click on SAP logon. Then select the second one. They will give the server access to you. Okay, so they will give the server access. Select the server and press on logon. Press on logon. I'm selecting the second one. And your client and every will be shared. Give the client number and user ID and the password will be the same, just like remote desktop connectivity. Same user ID and password. Give the user ID and password and just press enter and log into the system. Clear, all of you?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so you'll get by access by today. Okay, so